Hello ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Top Hat here. If you're already familiar with my work, you've been more than aware that I regularly make documentary style content and produce historical retrospectives. So it's a rare occurrence today that I'm actually going to be talking about gaming news for a change. I feel like it was only a few weeks ago, because it was, that Dotemu published on their YouTube channel that they were going to be publishing a brand new classic style Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up. And this very same publisher who provided us with Streets of Rage 4 previously, today dropped that there is going to be some Streets of Rage 4 DLC content coming out that will extend the length of the latest entry in the Streets of Rage series. Keeping all of this in mind, and the fact that Double Dragon Neon has recently been released on the Nintendo Switch, they've brought back Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on there as well, and on top of that I've heard River City Girls is very good. Are we in the second golden age of beat-em-ups? Is this the beat-em-ups renaissance? Speaking of beat-em-ups and the new DLC content, which I'm going to be talking about today, I would like all of you to follow me over to Twitch after this video, and we will talk about all this in greater depth. So that's twitch.tv/TopHatGamingManLive, where I would like to hear all of your opinions on today's news. So let's discuss what we appear to know about all of this so far. So in this trailer, it has been revealed that going forward, once we have got this downloadable content, we will then be able to play as Estelle, a fighter in the game who was previously only a boss character who is somewhat of an evil policewoman within the game's story. So we'll be able to play as her for the first time, much like in older Streets of Rage games where we could play as other bosses, such as Ash, or Shiva, for example, Mr. X's bodyguard. Dotemu also made it very clear that this is just one of 3 videos that they are set to publish, so we will be receiving a further 2 DLC fighters for the game, which I guess we can begin to speculate who they are likely to be. Considering Estelle is a boss from Streets of Rage 4, I'm actually going to play this safe and assume the next 2 characters to be announced may possibly be bringing Shiva back to the game, and maybe even Max, considering he was a boss in Streets of Rage 4 as well, one of the key heroes from Streets of Rage 2. But then again, if you watch the trailer, Dr. Zan is a part of it as well, who was one of the key fighters in Streets of Rage 3. So it's all speculation at this point, but some of those would be my picks for who's going to be showing up in this game soon. A survival mode has also been announced for the game, as well as a character customization tool, extra weapons, more moves, enemies, and there's also additional music in the works too. So it seems like they're going to be adding a fair bit of new content to further enrich our Streets of Rage 4 experience, which, to be fair, is already a bloody good game. Now, the bulk of the DLC content is going to be paid for, however, there's also a free update coming to the game as well, which is going to cater to the most experienced beat-em-up players out there, as from what I've heard, they are going to be adding a Mania Plus mode to the game to really challenge those who are brilliant at these style of games. Now, there's lots we can learn from the trailer simply by looking at it, and it highlights many of the tidbits in which are going to be included in the game. And if you notice, the actual content is referred to as Mr. X Nightmare, which infers that perhaps the original Streets of Rage villain may make some sort of appearance in this extra content, considering that in the original version of Streets of Rage 4, it concludes with a fight against his children who are trying to avenge his death. And when we consider the fact that Nightmare is in the title as well, maybe we're actually playing some sort of dream sequence where we get to face off against him once again, even though he might not necessarily be alive by this point, or he's certainly dead according to the story's canon at present. So yeah, personally I am very excited to try out this brand new content for myself, and I'm even more excited to learn more about what's going to be announced for this game, considering we've only heard 1/3 of the info which is set to be announced. So hopefully there's lots more out there which we will be learning soon. Whilst this is very exciting, there's plenty of Streets of Rage content out there to tide us over whilst we wait. We can simply go back and enjoy the original trilogy. We've got the fantastic Streets of Rage fan remake to play if that tickles our fancy as well. An absolutely excellent game. And on top of that, there's obviously the main bulk of the Streets of Rage 4 content as well. That's 5 big games just there. In fact, I covered all of those games within my movie-length Streets of Rage documentary, which you can find on this channel if this happens to be the first time you've ever stumbled across my content. In fact, we've gone even deeper than that when it comes to Streets of Rage content as well. I've also uploaded a video on Streets of Rage Z, the bizarre fan-made game made in open bore that came from China. And I also made a video on Streets of Rage Zombies, which is even more bloody bizarre, as it's a horror slasher themed fan take on the Streets of Rage franchise, where we get to take on all sorts of zombies and ghosts and ghoulies, including even the bloody woman who comes out of the television in the ring. So yeah, not just Streets of Rage, there's tons and tons of beat 'em up documentaries on my channel in general for you to check out if you find time. I just felt I wanted to tell you all about this new Streets of Rage DLC before you are forced to watch reaction videos instead, where most likely there be someone with a face in the thumbnail who looks like this. You know the face I'm talking about, basically. Oh, I'm really surprised because my wife's boyfriend has just got me a brand new Nintendo Switch. So yeah, if you're new, find and enjoy my cornucopia of content. And if you're old school and have been here for a while, come over now to twitch.tv/TopHatGameManLive and we will talk about beat 'em ups for the next few hours. That'd be very cool indeed. I'll see you over there. Cheerio.
Born in London in '86, a stacho gent named Richard Parliament. He loves to wrestle, but he loves one more thing: handhelds round the world. He fights in his comments and he argues with fans. It's a problem no one understands. If there's two things he loves, it's getting at handhelds round the world. Drinking fine wine, fighting fanboys, handhelds round the world.
Top Hat Gaming Man.